Wasting no time as we get into the first match of Day 5, and it's an exciting one to begin us off as we see GC BUSAN Blue appearing at the first singles with Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock. This is going to be the big question against Sang Kim, who has always been a question mark as to what his true power level is and what his true full potential might be. But hopefully we get a good answer today, at least part of the answer, as Sang Kim already forces out the escape from Yoon Jae-jung already from the beginning of the game. So
I hope we get to see Sang Kim's true performance, but it looks like it's not going his way.
Yeah, so the early game is not going towards Sang Kim's way as he takes a 60% approximate damage right from Yoon Jae-jung, and Yoon Jae-jung already used the time distortion to get his escape back. So he's at extreme advantage for at least the next 20 seconds or so, where Sang Kim will be out of that escape. And it's going to be important for the assassin to make his mobility to his fullest. Try to spend some time and buy his time to get that cooldown right back.
Yeah, they are kind of stalling for their cooldowns to come back, especially Sang Kim, as you mentioned, where he gets the leaf back, Lotus of Escape. Puts it down, goes aggressive, kind of. Yeah, there we go, Shadow Slash landing with the bad breath.
So Sang Kim does heal some of the health back. The flower, as you see on the screen, is still there for him to use if he has to use that for the escape. So actually the landmine connecting pretty well from Sang Kim, but Yoon Jae-jung not taking a lot of damage from this particular match. He's taken the stun up. It's going to be good enough to get him out though. But Sang Kim, he's going to have to look out for a lot more than this to make this work out. Yoon Jae-jung doing a good job defensively and offensively putting in the right trade of damage between Sang Kim.
Yeah, Sang Kim, it was worth 2 escapes for Sang Kim to just take out 1 secondary escape for Yoon Jae-jung. This is not the way you want to play an assassin.
Oh, but the assassin gets a stun up, and he's finally using the tab escape now to get him out. So he takes about 30% damage before he does use that tab escape. So not the best of trades for Sang Kim 1. I'm sure he wanted a lot more than it, but this might be his chance now to get in that additional stun. We know that the assassin can do a lot of damage following that stun.
Exactly, and Yoon Jae-jung still has like around 15-16 seconds left until his escape. He does not want to get CC'd by an assassin. We know what happens, and he does get CC'd, but the time distortion is down.
Yeah, and he's get the tab escape. If he gets down back to the ground, he'll be able to use it. He gets the poison breath down, so he keeps his escape for now, and is going to be prone to another stun, and will be having that additional escape once that comes through.
Alright, the Sanctum is put down. Sang Kim and Yoon Jae-jung both saving their tab escapes where they're trading CCs back and forth. Nothing too much is going to be happening. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock.
So I think Yoon Jae-jung is feeling pretty good about the situation because he knows that Sang Kim did heal some of that health back to his favor. So this might be bad though because he takes the stun and takes a little bit of damage, and where he has to use a tab escape to get out. But Yoon Jae-jung, he has to be a lot more careful now. This is the Warlock damage ulti. Will he be able to finish it? And he does finish up in time before the TKO marker does indicate for us. But Yoon Jae-jung doing good in the early game and finishing us off with that same series of damage near the end of the game to finish though.
Yeah, Sang Kim definitely saw that clock. He got hasty.
He got anxious,
He ran in there and got shackled to death. And there was only probably 1.2 seconds if I remember correctly. There was literally 1.2 seconds, or maybe not even. And as a Warlock, you only need 1 second to get rid of like 30% health.
It literally is, and the Warlock with the Yoon Jae-jung, he's been showing, like you see right there, he puts in a lot of damage in the early parts of the game, about 60%. Then, before he puts the finishing touch in the end of the game, actually, Sang Kim did a really good job of trading back damage, which I thought was almost pretty even. At least close to even if it did go to the TKO without that last series of damage. So I think Sang Kim was feeling a little bit anxious as to whether his damage was close enough if it was goes to the TKO.
Yeah, and especially because I have to say that Sang Kim, well, they both knew that they were both out of tab escapes. They knew that each other's escapes were out. So Sang Kim, being an assassin, wanted to land the CC, and having that 4 to 5 seconds, he rushed in there to try to finish off Yoon Jae-jung or do as much damage, because as an assassin, even if it goes down to a TKO, even if you don't kill him, he'll be able to win within like 2 to 3 seconds, but it backfired on him, and Yoon Jae-jung was actually able to finish him off.
Yeah, and definitely the mindset between the two players trying to finish him up before the timer did run out, but Yoon Jae-jung was the successor of that series of plays, but we're going to actually get onto game 2, where Intestine on the Assassin this time is actually going to go up against the IDEPS side. So this is going to be an interesting game too.
Yeah, and if you remember Sang-ho Kim's fish dagger, maybe that was the fault, because nowadays, you know, last year and last season, a lot of Assassins and Destroyers brought out their fish dagger and fish axes, but now they've been, you know, changing it up a little bit, and Sang-ho Kim's staying with the fish dagger. I don't know, maybe that's the problem.
The fish meta is definitely over.
Yeah, the fish meta is over.
And a lot of people a lot of players should realize that as we move on to the game 2, whether the fish will come back to its style, we're going to have to find out in our game 2 between GC BUSAN Blue and IDEPS. We'll get the match going right underway. Let's get it on. And I think we did have to emphasize the fact that Yunteson's Assassin is the 7th register class for him. So bottom priority for him, but he does go with that with his singles right now. So it's up against Jung Won-yoon. It's up against Jung Won-yoon.
Oh, that's not. No, it's Doug and Kang.
Yeah, it's definitely Doug and Kang.
OGN, come on.
So we will hopefully get that fix on the image soon, but it is Doug and Kang on the usual KFM. Your favorites to go with that, but it's not doing a good job so far, as Yunteson's Assassin doing work on that Jung Won-yoon early, but he actually gets the stun and gets the flower to go back with the body swap, and Jung Won-yoon has to look for more damage now.
Not
he does
Jung Won-yoon, Doug and Kang.
Doug and Kang. Keep tilting me, OGN, with the damage, but that is going to be a lot of damage going on to Yunteson on the Assassin.
He's done 5 more seconds. He's done 10.
My goodness.
Aerial, there we go.
Like another aerial, and that might be good enough to finish him off. They finish him off with the knockdown, and that's going to be good enough.
If that was Jung Won-yoon on that KFM and he performed like that, I would be like, he is a god.
Oh my gosh.
Like, he plays so well with the Force Master, and now he's moved on to the KFM. It's over. But it was Doug and Kang.
Yes.
There was a mistake on the name, but you know, it's understandable. We knew it was Doug and Kang, and Doug and Kang is one of the top KFM players, you know, other than Suwon Kim on GFAM. So, you know, you have to remember. So IDEPS is made up of strong players as well.
And it is very true. It's always been the question with IDEPS is whether they can get these really strong players that they have in their talents, or whether they can really formulate together and form a synergy that really turns out to be a victorious team. But it just never has been seen to be that case, where they've never been the top team in Korea. And they've always been in that middle of the pack, but we always expected more for these guys. So obviously in the singles, they're showing a good performance with Game 2. Doug and Kang doing finally a good job of really just knocking him out straight on. So Yunteson on the Assassin didn't work out this time around. So 7th priority on that champion, that class might not have been the best choice to go with on the second match.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have the fish, so I thought he had some hope, because he had an actual dagger, so it might have hurt. But he didn't get to make a move on Doug and Kang at all. He just, you know, Doug and Kang constantly back-to-back CCs, forcing Yunteson to use his escapes, his leaf, and his stealth. And then, you know, the next CC that comes up from KFM, a 2RF combo, 3RF combo, whatever you want to call it, is, you know, you're gonna die if you don't have any escapes. It's like similar to an Assassin, but it takes it's longer time, more patience, and Doug and Kang definitely had that patience going for him.
And definitely with that end of game 2, IDEPS brought this right back to even now. We're going to move on to game 3, which will be the first tag of this best of 7. And GC BUSAN Blue, they're going to be looking up for a lot more than what they're having right now. They're trying to get a dominating win, and that can really be a statement maker towards the entire blade&soul scene. And GC BUSAN Blue not having shown the most of what they're capable of so far. They're going to have to show a lot more if they're going to really place themselves on the top of the ladder.
Yeah, and as I just want to remind you guys that the first, even though this is the first match, it is best out of 7, and each team has taken a point apiece, and it's the first team to get 6 points or more. So right now it's just 1-1. We still have time. Both teams should, you know, keep their cool and try to win out this tag, which is worth 2 points.
And definitely the tag points always are really the crucial ones, as you can what the statements will be made from a team, and really GC BUSAN Blue want to make all the statement in the world, and they're just going to have to use this GC BUSAN Blue side. Their strength that they always had was the tag matches, and their tag performances have been stellar up to far. So, you know, against IDEPS, who have been relatively weak on the tag matches. So that's kind of the key point that we have to watch out for. But Game 3 will be coming right your way. It will be the first tag match of this series between GC Busan Blue and IDEPS, and we'll get the match starting very, very soon. So let's get the match underway. Let's get it on. Here we go for Game 3, the first tag match between GC Busan Blue and IDEPS, and we're going to have Daeyoung Choi on the usual assassin versus Sang Kim on the assassin, so it's going to be assassin mirror match to start us off.
Yep. Okay, Ice Mine for Daeyoung Choi, at least we know now. Daeyoung Choi is going to try to chase this, obviously going to work. But it has been patched. If you guys... There is a program in Korean, unfortunately not in English, where you know they explain about the patch. They talk about, you know, the updates or the new quote-unquote metas. And one of the assassins actually mentioned that the ice mine, the timer for the chase has changed slightly. And you know, maybe that could make a difference, or maybe that is why many of the assassins stopped using the ice mine. But, you know, today, right now, this time around, Daeyoung Choi is on the ice mine and going with the ice mine. Let's see how this works out.
So perhaps Daeyoung Choi had a lot more practice on the ice mine, looking for that new timing difference that a lot of players obviously does not seem to be getting used to. So onto the waiting now. So Daeyoung Choi has to look for more damage, and he gets this escape out once again from Sang Kim. So Sang Kim in a dangerous situation where one more stun will get him a lot of damage dealt his way. So Daeyoung Choi also being used to use the escape from Sang Kim, so both assassins right now are out of their escape. So one crucial stun on either side could make all the difference.
Wow, did you just see that? Daeyoung Choi sees Sang Kim, and instead of trying to chase or predict what he's gonna do, he did predict that he was gonna leaf out, and he moved towards the leaf at the same time as Sang Kim leafed out. That was cool.
Definitely a good prediction play, but now we see Sang Kim is going to be back on the cooldown with the escape is back, and Daeyoung Choi is going to get his right after a second as we speak. So, but 1 second is what they have left. They're going to be force tagged out. No chase is probably going to be happening within that distance. But Jeong Jae-jung on the Warlock is going to be the second one out, whereas Jung Yoon, first time we see this guy, is going to be out for IDEPS as well.
Yep, Jung Yoon versus Yoon Jae-jung, the Warlock versus Force Master. This is gonna be good to see. Usually Jung Yoon is the player with a little bit more experience on his character. Whereas, you know, Yoon Jae-jung has swapped from a summoner.
But the
offensive interfere.
Yeah, offensive interfere, killing off much of the HP from the familiar. So he's not gonna be able to rely on that as much as he wants to. So Jung Yoon doing a good job with the interfere. The familiar does go back down onto the ground with the cooldown being run out. So nothing really happening regarding damage onto both sides right now, but Daeyoung Choi is coming back out on the assassin. He's going to be looking to make a play that he wasn't able to make in the first time he was able to come out in this tag match, but already having to use the tag along with Jung Yoon as well. He's going to be out of the escape for the next 20 seconds for both sides.
It was a good trade for both of them. Their tab escapes trading nearly at the same time, but now Jung Yoon has to use his backstep escape. Same thing with Daeyoung Choi, uses the leaf. So they're basically trading off. This is actually ideal for a singles match, but you know, in tag right now, it's also a fun scene to watch where they're trading off and then a defensive reactionary 2v2 happens. But right now, it's just, you know, they're both stealthing.
And for how even it is, we have to mention that IDEPS is at a slight advantage regarding the tag points they have available. Jung Yoon will probably get his free tag already in the next 3 seconds. Well, they can count that, make that chase happen, but he's putting a little bit of distance, which doesn't, which evades Daeyoung Choi from going for that chase, but actually goes up into the air. Dougie Kang, as soon as he comes in, uses defense to interfere, but not too much effect. So Daeyoung Choi trying to get that damage onto him, but actually taking the damage himself from Sang Kim as well. Assassin mirror match happening again, but Sang Kim already taking the tab escape against his favor. So Daeyoung Choi has to look for more chances now with the 24 seconds he has to spare.
Yeah, and Daeyoung Choi, if you notice, he tried to knock him down with that small slash that has this small range. When Sang Kim was stealth, it was, you know, it was unfortunate. But that CC lands, forcing Sang Kim. He's out of both escapes for the next 10 seconds, 9, 8 seconds.
Oh, this could be a good
make a
chance.
move.
Okay, now the interfere coming in from IDEPS is going to be good to negate much of that damage that he could have put out, but Intestine now for the Blade Dancer is out for GC BUSAN Blue. It's going to be a good chance for interfere coming in from both sides, trying to put in that damage, but actually IDEPS is taking the lesser of that trade. So Intestine with his teammate doing a good job of putting out that damage.
And if you guys notice, these are two champion stage teams, and their tag and interfere points are being managed so well.
Very good, and then another damage coming out to IDEPS as well. So Duggan Kang taking a lot of damage. It's going to be a dangerous situation that he has to stall out for somehow 1 minute and 30 seconds. But Duggan Kang is not going to be. That's not what he was looking for specifically once he did come out.
Yeah, and Duggan Kang, if you noticed, he is on the Blade Dancer.
He is.
He's, you know, a KFM main, but he could also play the Blade Dancer. There we go. Puts him into the aerial. Puts him down. Ooh, it's another style. Okay.
So Duggan Kang showing who's the better Blade Dancer this time around, putting a lot of damage onto Intestine, but the Warlock coming in from that damage onto that chain. It's going to be good damage coming into that side, but Duggan Kang is trying to look pretty good on the Blade Dancer regardless of how many times he's seen this guy play it, but doing a good job so far. Definitely a team-composed pick, if you will, of that specific class.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And, you know, that pile drive down into the CC, into a re-knock, that was something that we usually don't see.
Oh, the ultimate!
ult.
I guess a little bit of damage, just barely noticeable amount of damage onto Intestine, but Intestine on that Blade Dancer trying to do work. He's trying to stall out as much time. The lightning draw does put in a little bit of damage. Intestine putting that lightning draw himself as well, but Intestine is going to be looking for that 5 seconds that he has to stall out to get that free tag in. For GC BUSAN Blue, saving as much tag points as you can will be crucial. Chase probably going to be happening.
Did land, and the stealth was used right away by Daeyoung Choi.
Jorian uses that ultimate to freeze the entire arena, but nothing comes from it so far. He does heal some of that health back. So Daeyoung Choi back out on the field for GC BUSAN Blue on that assassin, as we all usually know him to be.
He just tried to frost burst up in the air, but Daeyoung Choi knocked him down at the same time.
Oh, but actually the interfere coming in, the defensive interfere coming in slightly late. Trying to negate, I'm sure, more damage than what they expected there.
Yep. Jung Ho-yoon, of course, as the Force Master, as Jung Ho-yoon, he has so much health right now. Same thing with Duggan Kang. Sang Kim is the only player on IDEPS that has such low health, and he should be the one doing the damage, but he can't come out with that little amount of health.
And Daeyoung Choi, he does have to be careful because he's up against Jung Ho-yoon, who is specifically very good against the assassins. That opposition has never truly proven to be anything of a justice against Jung Ho-yoon's Force Master. So Daeyoung Choi, he knowing that fact, he has to be a little bit careful.
Yep, and at the 3-minute mark, everybody got another extra interfere point, if you guys noticed.
Yep.
Let's see how they will manage to use those points.
And perhaps a good tag point being used by GC BUSAN Blue to bring out that little bit of a mismatch onto a little bit of their favor, bringing out the Blade Dancer Intestine onto the field, and Jung Ho-yoon doing a very good job doing everything he's supposed to do while the time he's out in the field, and 3 seconds is all he has to put out as much as additional damage as he could. He's gonna get that free tag out.
Yep, if you notice, these teams, they are managing their points
really
so well. There's 2 minutes left, so 8 minutes have passed, and ult again won't be connecting. But, you know, as I was saying, they are managing their points so well. It's been 8 minutes, and they still all have their tag points and interfere points. Duggan Kang finally used his final tag point.
And Duggan Kang, after missing that ultimate, he does tag out right away. Back out to Jung Ho-yoon, who has been the most trustworthy teammate for IDEPS, who's doing everything right in his time that he is out. So trying to make that work once again against GC BUSAN Blue. No KO happening straight away yet, so this is going to be the Warlock Chains going up to Jung Ho-yoon. Not much damage coming from it though.
Yeah, he did get him into the first area, but was unable to continue.
Yeah.
And the Ice Burst, the Frost Burst does not connect to the blade.
Bringing the familiar back out, but Young Jung taking a lot of damage from Jung Ho-yoon already. And it's going to be a chance for him to do it, but another chain coming up, but not too much damage as well. So Yoon Jung probably wanting a lot more out of these trades, but really he's taking a lot of damage himself, using the time distortion now to get his cooldown back. But he's kind of looking for a lot more than the Sound Kim on this limits of HP is coming back out. So this might be a chance for GC BUSAN Blue to put in a good amount of interference and maybe put enough damage to knock the first man out.
Yeah, and I love how these teams, you know, when they tag out, even though it's not a force tag, they are able to land that CC, forcing the opponent.
The ultimate did not connect this time around, but we'll tag out from Duggan Kang, so Blade Dancer on that turn is coming back out. Now Daeyoung Choi on the semester HP is going to be back out for GC BUSAN Blue. So like we said, for the other side of GC BUSAN Blue, this is IDEPS' chance now to put in a lot of damage, hopefully knock the first man out of this tag match. But I should say the actions are very smart, if you will, going towards both sides, being very defensive when they need to, and saving their manpower as much as they can.
Yeah, well, if you notice, they have more than enough interfere points to go back and forth. However, right now Duggan Kang is out of tag points, so he has to wait.
This is a lightning draw into the damage, and that is a lot of damage going on to the other Blade Dancer. This is going to be a good chance for them now. They're using the webbing onto their favor, but Duggan Kang doing a very good job, and that's going to be the first man out on this tag match. And Intestine on full health is going to be back out for GC BUSAN.
3 seconds left, and you know they have
that
to
might have
do
been the
as
crucial
much
one, but
as-
actually going to be the damage near the end of the game, and
What
that
is
might be the
happening?
game. That might be the game changer, because we are going to the
gosh.
damage chart, and that last bit of damage knocking a man off instantly. That might have came off for interfere. And like we said, that changed it up totally. That was a very small margin of difference.
Wow.
And everything just happened within that 3 seconds of the last series.
Yeah, 160,000 damage on each side,
Yeah.
where it was even, and then at the end, like you mentioned, before that happened at the end, GC BUSAN Blue knocking out a player from IDEPS, that probably would have given them the win at the TKO.
Definitely,
mark.
yes.
But when there was like 3-4 seconds left, IDEPS came right back at them, knocking a player down that had more than 50% HP, which probably obviously gave IDEPS the damage charts at the end.
I mean, we know how this tag match, this one turned out to be, but if you've just been watching us for this last 5 seconds of it, you probably thought there was a lot of action happening, but it was very smart plays going from both sides. So a lot of congratulations going to both teams, because it's been a very high quality form of tag match that we barely was able to see throughout this tournament, but very good showing here. This is where the lightning draw happens. A lot of damage and eventually knocking him off with that interfere coming in.
All right, so right now with that webbing, they finish him off. Yes, Duggan Kang is finished off. However, here Daeyoung, there we go, Yuta-san comes in. And he's like, we probably won. And then look at that
So
Sang-ho Kim makes that mark.
Very true.
At the end. We were always bashing on him for him to improve because we know how good he is. And finally at the end, he was able to land that ult by the assassin.
And when you play that well for both sides, really being even, not really knowing which side to go for in terms of damage, when you make that crucial play near the end, that really does make all the difference. And that 3 seconds, as you mentioned, I really did win out the game for IDEPS. So now IDEPS, surprisingly, is the one team that is above GC BUSAN Blue 3-1 right now.
Yeah, that was amazing. And we are back to 2 more singles. So set 4 and set 5 will be back to singles, which is worth 1 point each. And right now, IDEPS is up 3 to GC BUSAN Blue 1 point. And Daeyoung Choi is finally coming out against Jung Ho-yoon, the assassin killer on the Force Master. We'll have to see what happens.
And to be fair, we do have to mention that Daeyoung Choi is the player that we have the most expectations for. But from this tag match that we saw in Game 3, he did not show nearly as much as we expected from him, because we expected a lot of damage charts. We expected a lot of crucial plays that make all the difference for IDEPS to be nervous about, but none of that really showed in Game 3 specifically, so he's going to have to make his mark on Game 4, the next singles coming up.
Yeah, and as we always mention repeatedly, that Daeyoung Choi is probably one of the top players currently, performing the best out of all the players most recently.
But we're gonna actually get onto Game 4. The second series of singles will begin between GC BUSAN Blue and IDEPS. It's gonna be between Daeyoung Choi on the assassin and Jung Ho-yoon on the killer. Force Master, let's get the match underway. We begin the Game 4 between GC BUSAN Blue and IDEPS, and we have Daeyoung Choi on the assassin, as famously as we know. But the more famous part of the story is that Jung Ho-yoon on the Force Master always likes to kill assassins.
Oh yeah, even back in the day where, if you guys remember, Jinyu Park was one of the top assassins, probably still is. Unfortunately, not participating in this tournament, Jung Ho-yoon was able to play around with even Jinyu Park. So we'll have to see how he plays against Daeyoung Choi.
And actually, talk about Jung Ho-yoon's performance. He's already got that
wallbang.
The wallbang is already happening. The frost burst is gonna be happening for Jonghyun, but that first series of play, if you like to just replay exactly what happened, he got the tag out already. They're using the meteor already, putting a lot of damage. There's nothing David Choi can do.
GG.
100-0. Taking no damage in train. The assassin killer is back on the action, guys, because that just gave one more point over to IDEPS, and GC BUSAN Blue, they might be the loser out of this series.
Yeah, and we see Daeyoung Choi's face and Jonghyun's face. But right now, in this live stage, Daeyoung Choi is actually across from me on the other side of the booth, so I can see him. And he is, you know, out of, like, he's just, what the hell, what just happened kind of face.
It literally is, because we knew that Jonghyun can kill assassins.
Yeah.
He's very good at that, but it's Daeyoung Choi. It's one of the best assassins in today's blade&soul. So that's the expectation that we had, and continue on for this tag match. Daeyoung Choi, there wasn't much for him to show.
No.
And that's the confusion that we're getting, because we know that the players are really complimenting this player of how good he is and how much of a hard worker he is and in his work ethics. But if it doesn't show in these offline tournaments, that really does go into the dust.
God. It sucks for Daeyoung Choi. He was forced to use his stealth right away off the bat, getting CC'd at the start of the match, which, you know, led into what just happened. He wasn't even able to put down his Lotus of Escape. He had his leaf, he just couldn't put it down.
I think literally for 90% of that game, Daeyoung Choi was either stunned or in some form of CC.
Yeah.
That he just didn't have much time to make any sort of moves. If he thought about making the escape moves early, maybe he could have done that, but probably didn't expect that coming, that he wouldn't have any time to make any kind of plays.
Yeah, especially when you're, you know, walled up like that and you're getting frozen, getting pushed back to the wall. Daeyoung Choi is coming back out, and Jonghyun is coming back!
Oh, the rematch happening right back. It's a challenge going directly towards Jonghyun. Daeyoung Choi is looking for the biggest of revenges, because if they lose out on this one, it's gonna be literally 5-1. It's gonna be almost a game clincher for IDEPS. So GC BUSAN Blue, all of the singles that they have been facing, this might be one of the most important singles that they have in this tournament.
Yep, this is a revenge, and challenge was accepted by Jonghyun. I'm pretty sure. You guys have to know, they are able to chat within, you know, their games. So maybe Daeyoung Choi was like, hey, Jungho, let's do a rematch. And, you know, that could be the possibility. I'm not saying, you know, they've talked it out. It could be a coincidence.
Sure.
But I love it.
And Jonghyun with that go-go as his answer to that challenge will be the rematch between GC BUSAN Blue and IDEPS, as Daeyoung Choi has a second feat against Jonghyun on the Force Master, but we will get the next singles going right underway. Let's get it on. You know, personally, Andy, I really love seeing this when you get a direct revenge matchup right after the singles is over. And Daeyoung Choi, if he wins out this one, he's going to feel all the redemption in the world. But if he loses again, it's going to feel twice as worse.
All right, this time around, Jonghyun is using his backstep escape first. But he still has his tab escape and many freezes.
Definitely Daeyoung Choi figured out the strategy that he has to go out for the action immediately as soon as he starts the game, and it's exactly what he's doing, getting a good trade of damage, much better compared to the first time they faced off against each other.
Oh, what? Okay. I don't know, maybe Jonghyun planned it. The re-knockup didn't happen, and the fire is dying out at this.
That's frees himself up, but Day2 Choi is looking a lot better than he did the first time he faced him. So Jonghyun without the escape for the next 12 seconds is going to be Day2 Choi's chance to make it happen. But when you freeze yourself like that and get yourself into the air, it's really tough to do that from Day2 Choi's side.
Oh, aerial.
The landmine is happening to knocking him down. Whether you can get a crucial stun in is going to be the question, but he does already have the body stop is happening. He's going to get the stun in, but he does have a lot of bombard. It's going to be happening, but he still has the tab escape to work with, so Jonghyun's not in the complete amounts of danger. So Jonghyun knows the situation.
Not good. Don't show your back.
The meteor happening again, putting a little bit of damage onto Day2 Choi. So Jonghyun trying to get the repeat performance, get another win for his side.
All right, Jonghyun is out of escapes. Now he has to use his Frost Armor very wisely. You don't want to waste it. And Day2 still has his stuff left.
And definitely this might be the best chance for Day2 to get that finishing touch onto him because he gets the stun now, beginning the bombard. Trying to start off his combo now. The landmine is going to be popping in. He's going to be trying to get that finishing touch onto him. He does use the Frost Burst. Yeah. Just in time to freeze himself out and buy crucial time that he can get the tab escape right back on his favor.
Now it's Jung Ho-yoon's time to do
it is, and he gets him onto the
this
aerial.
is what I expected, the first aerial from Jung Ho-yoon, the double knockup, but it didn't happen, and look at all the damage being put into Day2.
It just seems so overpowered when Jung Ho-yoon plays that Force Master. We've seen other players play it, but it just never turned out to be the same effect, and the bombard coming up, trying to put that challenge onto him. Getting actually pretty good damage onto him now. The second bombard is going to come his way, and that's going to be good enough to finish him off. And that's actually good enough to finish off, and Day2 getting his revenge right towards his favor.
Yeah, that was very close. Jung Ho-yoon was definitely saving his tab escape for that second close shave.
Surprise.
Yeah, but you know, that crazy burst damage from Day2 plus the bombard, you know, maybe he miscalculated the damage.
Definitely, yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, you know, you could make a mistake. You're not a robot, even though we were calling Jung Ho-yoon the AI, the AlphaGo of blade&soul. However, you know, it could be Jung Ho-yoon could be a little broken.
But as you can see, Day2 on that screen looking very relieved that he finally got the win over Jung Ho-yoon, which is exactly what he wanted. But I think that all the credits do go to that early game where Day2 was very much aggressive.
To here.
Yeah, this is what you're talking about.
Okay,
with
this is actually
the second
on.
knockup.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the beginning of the game.
Beginning.
Yeah,
the same thing happened where Jung Ho-yoon wasn't able to do a re-knockup. Maybe he made a mistake.
And maybe if he had gotten that off, there might be enough damage to finish off Day2 a lot early before all this happened. So Jung Ho-yoon, obviously a little mistake does go a long way, and he's actually shown that with Day2 this time getting the win for GC BUSAN Blue, getting that one more point onto them. So it's going to be 2 points right now for GC BUSAN Blue.
Yeah, very well played. They did bring up another point, so now we are into our tag matches. The last 2 tag matches.
It will be happening.
Yep, and you know, GC BUSAN Blue wants to win it out. They have to win out all the tags because it's 4-2 right now. And as I mentioned, this is best out of 7. First team to reach 6 points. And if you know IDEPS wins one match, one tag, they're done. GC BUSAN Blue is done.
And it's really hard to predict what the matchup was going to be like. We kind of expected GC BUSAN Blue to be the heavy favorites, even over Team IDEPS, but we always see Team IDEPS has been really preparing against the GC BUSAN Blue side because they already knew their opposition in their preparation for this match. But it's going to be the next tag match. As you say, if IDEPS does win out on this tag match, it's going to be the end of the series. It's going to be a win going towards IDEPS, but GC BUSAN Blue wants to keep it to the 7-game series and hopefully get their chance to regain their win that they probably hopefully deserve at the end of their season.
What? Yeah, but anyways, we are getting ready for potentially the last match. If IDEPS wins, they get 6 points, which will give them the victory, right? But if GC BUSAN Blue wins, they have to win another one to get the victory. So they have to win back-to-back tags. So we'll have to see if IDEPS will win one game or GC BUSAN Blue will win both games to go up to the next match. Let's get it on!
Here we go for the Game 6, the second tag match of the series between GC BUSAN Blue and IDEPS. We have Day2, the first one up. He's maybe getting a lot of appearances in the recent games. This guy being against Jung Ho-yoon again, so retaliation going both ways now. The meteor happening straight away. Jung Ho-yoon putting a lot of damage, but it's going to be a meteor onto himself, so obviously not much damage going towards that way. You don't get damage coming towards yourself, so Day2 particularly well using that first interfere now, using that bombard onto the chains. It's going to be the time interfere coming in from that warlock, so giving that Day2 right back his escape.
Yep, exactly. The time distortion is giving back Day2 the confidence because he got his escapes back. But Jung Ho-yoon being the Force Master, there we go, the freeze. He has more than enough resources to live even though he is out of his time escape.
Definitely Day and Choi doing a very good job, especially coming from that interfere, trying to negate that damage, but not too much good effect because Jung Woo-yoon takes a lot of damage from that bombard onto that combo. So Choi doing a good job right now. The meteor coming in this time again. Not much happening.
All right, Jung Woo-yoon is in the air. Oh, okay, he dodged that. Landmine.
Oh, another bombard coming in.
Trading that tab escape.
True, and getting the both stun and the bombard coming to great effect. Maybe that'd be the answer towards Jung Woo-yoon's side, but Jung Woo-yoon finally having to use the tag point early, and Sang Kim is on the assassin coming back out. Actually, GC BUSAN Blue also uses their tag points early and brings out Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock for him.
Yep, Yoon Jae-jung versus Sang Kim. Let's see if Sang Kim is able to pull off his wait. Instead of waiting till the end like he did last time in the third match where he lands that ult, giving IDEPS the victory in the first tag match. Let's see if he's able to play well right now on the field when he's not pressured.
So you see Sang Kim playing a little bit passively because he doesn't have that escape available, but putting a little bit of damage onto Yoon Jae-jung before he does that, forcing his tab escape to run out, but uses that time distortion to get it right back to his favor. So Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock has to make some kind of damage happen. Sang Kim will get his escape back right back now, as in 1 second.
Yep, and he does put down the flower, so he has had that Lotus of escape the whole time. And if they both have their escapes, it's gonna be alright. The body swap happens for Yoon Jae-jung right now. 1 minute cooldown.
Ooh, an aggressive turn in from Sang Kim, putting in that damage and coming right back in for additional damage as well. So Sang Kim doing a good job of exactly what he's supposed to do. Another attack where he's almost knocking him out. Yeah, almost knocking him out before he is tagged out. Onto the choice, a good play by GC Blue to get that off in time.
Yeah, Yoon Jae-jung, I'm glad that he was able to tag out, because if he were to die with 2 tag points and 2 interferes, I would have, his team would have bashed on him.
And definitely, we know that Warlock is such a team contributor with that time distortion and all the sanctum that you can use off the interfere. Even with the offensive one as well, you can put in a lot of damage if you can get the right CC in. So not having that Warlock as an interfere option is a crucial thing for them. So keeping that man alive was an important thing, but a lightning draw coming in from the side of IDEPS, and that's going to be a lot of damage going on to Daeon Choi on the assassin pretty early.
Yep, Daeon Choi spec'd into the blue buff probably. If you notice, he does not have his Lotus of escape, and he does put him into the aerial.
Gets into the good effect, the defensive interfere coming in for Jung Woo-yoon. Trying to save his teammate. The webbing onto the additional damage does not happen because of actually doing a lot of damage.
He knocks him out of stuff.
The last second of the interfere from Jung Woo-yoon. So Jung Woo-yoon doing everything right. Whether it's the interfere or whether he's actually out on the field. So there's the interfere coming in, putting the sanctum down.
Daeon Choi is still there, 25 seconds left until the force tag.
Dragon Kang is trying to look for damage. The lightning draw does happen, but not much damage coming from it. But does force out the tab escape from Daeon Choi.
Oh, he ulted.
The ulti didn't happen this time around, so not too much of a distance that he had to cover, but it's going to be his chance. And now, with that blue buff, it's going to put a lot of damage in. The defensive interfere coming in from Sang Kim on the assassin, the poison breath, trying to negate him to go aggressively against his teammates. So Daeon Choi, 1 more second before he's tagged out. Perhaps IDEPS going to be looking for the chase, nothing happening from it.
Yep, no chases. That was very well played on Daeon Choi's side. He did have that 1 tag point, and there was a moment where he probably was tempted to use that tag point, but he was able to endure it.
But the interfere comes in, but it actually gets him straight up into the air. The time distortion does happen from the Warlock, giving the cooldowns right back. So Intestine doing a pretty good job of getting into the air despite the defensive interfere trying to gate that.
Yep, and Sang Kim is back out on the field. He's the only one who has 2 tag points, which means he lasted a force tag before. Same thing with Yoon Tae-sun, 2 tag points. So, they could fight it out, and they could tag out when they feel, they're in danger. So, they'll still have a tag point left. And if you notice, most of the players have their interfere points other than Yoon Jae-jung, who had to come in many times for the time distortion usage for his teammates.
And definitely we see the reminiscent of this tag match against the last tag match that we saw from these 2 teams. They're playing very smart, trying to be defensive when they need to be, trying to prevent a man going out very early, which can be a crucial snowball effect going towards a specific side. But just on, and Sang Kim now on the assassin has to look for something else. So Yoon Jae-jung does come back out on the Warlock, finally getting much of that health back that he lost in the early game. He's back out with approximately 60% health now.
Yep, and Yoon Tae-sun, as I mentioned before, tags out and still has that 1 tag point, that Shadow Slash connects.
The familiar does come out for Yunjejung, so you have to look for his favor. It does get him into the air. The familiar will continue to attack him, and Sound Kim taking a little bit of damage from that series of attacks.
Yeah, but the defensive interference from Jung Ho-yoon comes in, forces Yunjejung to back off.
Oh, this might be the Assassin's chance now. The Sound Kim trying to go in aggressively. The time distortion does happen for Yunjejung, so gets his time escape back onto his favor. So Sound Kim, with that escape, he's going to try to go for it, but the chase does happen immediately, and that's a good enough take to almost knock him out. Jung Ho-yoon heals himself back with that frost. He was at the slimmest of health before he had used that. Surprisingly, he didn't use a tag. Instead, he went for that risky play. If that didn't connect, that would have been a dangerous situation for Jung Ho-yoon.
Yeah, GC Busan Blue was desperate to finish off that tiny little health that they were hitting him, and he used his frost armor, got his health back, took advantage of that.
Oh, the ultimate does happen from Jung Ho-yoon, but not too much effect. But as you mentioned, I think Jung Ho-yoon exactly knew the mind games between the two teams, and he knew the entire team was going to go after him. So what a better time to use that to freeze yourself and get that immediate health back.
Yeah, this is, exactly the plays that we were talking about from Jung Ho-yoon.
Interfere coming in from both sides, trying to make something happen, but Daniel Choi without his escape along with Jung Ho-yoon as well. So this would be the chance for the Assassin to put in that crucial stun. We know that can make a big difference in the damage charts.
Yep, they both decide to tag out. Sang-ho Kim comes out still having 2 tag points, so he is very safe right now. He could play a little bit more aggressive compared to Intestine or whoever it may be on GC Busan Blue side, because he could always tag out.
And definitely Sound Kim has been playing safe, as you mentioned. The blade&soul ultimate is not going to connect.
Oh, he does hit him.
Oh, he does change this direction. Trying to get a little bit of damage, which he does. So Sound Kim, as we keep mentioning, he's been playing safe, but not putting a crucial damage onto any opponent. So it might be his chance now.
Yeah, him having his 2 tag points, he should, like I said, play more aggressive. Yeah. But it just doesn't seem like he's doing any damage.
Oh, putting the lightning draw doesn't go to full effect. Intestine now taking a little bit of damage onto Naoka. Actually uses the first tag, as you mentioned, back onto Dougie Kang on the Blade Dancer. I don't know how this is going to turn out with the 2 Blade Dancers spinning at each other. Time distortion does happen on the side of Yunjejung. Get that time to escape back. The Warlock does use that chain onto the air for a lot of damage before his interfere is over.
Sang-ho Kim interferes in and actually tries to do something. Same thing with Daeyoung Choi. Not too much happens. But if you see now that on the IDEPS side, nobody has their interfere points until the 1 minute mark. Whereas GC Busan Blue, they have a total of 3 interfere points still. They have to take advantage of that before everybody gets an interfere point at the 1 minute mark.
And definitely we were getting to the late game stage of the game where the tag points and the lack of interferes will be the crucial difference between the two teams. But as you mentioned, GC Busan Blue is in favor. Regarding those resources, and Yuntae-san will also get his free tag back most likely within this next 2 seconds, whether they'll look for the chase. It doesn't seem like they're going to happen within that distance. Actually, that's going to try to make an effort for it.
Oh, on the other hand, Daeyoung Choi is the one who actually gets that. He was the one who was force tagged in too.
Yeah, and that's a very good play by GC Busan Blue to negate, mention that thing from happening. But Daeyoung Choi this time, he's trying to go for a lot more aggressive play coming in from him in this late game. You're going to have to look for that lot of damage as much as you need. If it does go over to TK, which most likely it would be the difference in the damage shot. Oh, that's going to be enough damage!
Sang-ho Kim again!
On the ultimate is connecting for the second tag. Another one!
Going back and
forth! Back and forth, and it's going to be 1 man down for each side. Damage chart, it will be very hard to predict with Jung Ho-yoon having healed much of that back. We're gonna guess that GC Busan Blue is on the favor, as the Force Master we know does heal a lot of his health back. We've seen that instance today, also in this tag match.
Oh, jeez, 10 seconds left. We don't know until right now. Jung Ho-yoon is doing as much damage as he can.
Meteor.
But he heals up once again. It is not good.
And it just seems like GC Busan Blue will win out this tag just because of the damage difference. There's so much heal damage from Jung Ho-yoon's side that it all accumulates to the total damage that GC Busan Blue eventually put out. So we're probably going to see the left side, as we do, will be the winner coming out from this crucial tag match that they had to win to bring us back to Game 7. So this is all for the marbles now. Everything is on the line. GC Busan Blue can easily get the win just to get here.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we saw a full 7 set being played, because usually it's a 3-3 and we'll skip set 6 and go straight to set 7, which is worth 3 points. But today we actually get to see all 7 matches being played, and it's with 2 of the one of the greatest teams.
Definitely.
GC Busan Blue, the 2 champions, with Jung Yoon and Sang-ho Kim and Duggan Kang on the IDEPS. They're both formidable teams, and I'm so happy that we get to see a full 7 set with these 2 teams.
And definitely IDEPS has been full of players who have all the potential, like we always like to mention, because they, as individual players, are very famous in this community, and everybody knows them to be specifically talented. But the team synergy has been what's lacking from this team of IDEPS. But if you can get that first tag win for GC Busan Blue, it's actually a very good team win, and it's really proving yourself that you guys are improving in this terms of team synergy, and they actually almost beat out GC Busan Blue, even if it wasn't for the last bit of damage we see near the end right here. Actually might have been going towards IDEPS if that last kill didn't come through.
Yeah, if Sang-ho Kim was able to somehow negate that damage and stay alive or not die, then it would have probably, even with Jung Yoon's heals, it probably would have gone to IDEPS. But like you said, Sang-ho Kim died at the end or near the end, which gave back GC Busan Blue the edge for that TKO win.
I think IDEPS really did realize that near the end, as we saw Jung Yoon trying to put that desperate meteor down, trying to put it as much damage to get them even close. But we all knew that, with so much healing coming from Jung Yoon's Force Master, that always is the double-edged sword, especially in these tag matches, because you like to think that you're safely winning in this match. But when this goes to the TKO, when you have that Force Master who healed 1 billion HP right back to their favor, obviously we know that it's gonna go towards the opposite side. So obviously, IDEPS wanted to win out this one. They wanted to get it KO, but with how these 2 teams are really playing, it's really tough to get a KO win from 3 matches. But we're going to go right on to Game 7. No more talks being allowed, because we're going to go to the action right away to see who takes the win between GC Busan Blue and IDEPS. The last tag match coming up. Let's get it on. Here we go. For the last match between GC Busan Blue and IDEPS in Game 7 will be the last clincher for either of these teams to get the win out in the series.
Yep, and we have a Assassin Mirror match right now off the bat. This happened before. We'll have to see. Sang-ho Kim putting a lot of damage to Daeyoung Choi.
Definitely Sang-ho Kim. I have to say he was a better assassin in this particular series against GC Busan Blue. Daeyoung Choi showed glimpses, but not too much of what we expected from him. But Sang-ho Kim, I think he played a lot better than we initially expected of him. But as we say that, Daeyoung Choi does use that Ice Mine. Oh, doesn't pop it right away though.
He rolls, Sang-ho Kim rolls out of it. He's like, oh my god, I missed my chance.
Just a casual back roll,
And no chase happened. Ice Mine wasn't popped either. Daeyoung Choi and Sang-ho Kim both out of their stealth, but Daeyoung Choi will be getting it faster. We'll see if he's gonna make a move, a little bit before Sang-ho Kim gets his stealth back.
And 10 seconds is a frame that Daeyoung Choi has to make a move, but he's gonna be passive for now. Put that flower down in case of an escape opportunity, but Sang-ho Kim also really liking this situation because he liked that kind of getting back, but it's kind of give no time getting into the air and also into the webbing as well. The knockdown is going to be happening for Daeyoung Choi, so putting a lot of damage onto Sang-ho Kim very much early in this game.
All right, Sang-ho Kim used his stealth and tries to make a move. There we go, Shadow Slash connects. Forces Daeyoung Choi to use his stealth as well.
The pull-in. The pull-in actually going to be negated by the defensive interferer coming in for IDEPS. So a reactionary one comes in from but mostly a defensive one for both sides, because Daeyoung Choi on that pull-in would have been a crucial damage onto Sang-ho Kim.
Yeah, both have 10 seconds left for that force tag. If they stay on either side of the wall, it's just like a friendly tag. Let's, just tag out.
Shaking hands.
Yeah, and unless if someone starts to move slowly.
But it seems like that's not going to happen because the force tag is going to happen. Too much distance to go from either side to go for that chase. So bringing that familiar out is Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock, the second man out against Jung Yoon on the Force Master. He's been doing well. Jung Yoon, I think, has been the one to make the least amount of mistakes for Team IDEPS, and he's been doing everything right. But unfortunately, he didn't get the win in this particular tag match last time around, which would have gotten the victory in the series. But Meteor not happening this time around against Yoon Jae-jung, puts himself in enough distance to evade that damage.
Yep, Yoon Jae-jung, IDEPS is doing such a great job locking down the Warlock, so he does not get his full aerial damage. So we're not seeing too much of the Warlock action, but not because Yoon Jae-jung is bad at the Warlock. It's just IDEPS is such a good team, especially with Jung Ho-yoon's freeze team, the party buff, the party saves. So, unfortunate for Yoon Jae-jung. the Warlock.
And definitely the Yoon Jae-jung has been doing well. He just did good enough to force out the interfere from IDEPS. So he's been doing everything right, but hopefully he needs a little more than that to get his team the victory that they really desire. But another series of meteor coming in, but not much damage coming in. Maybe he's not in that distance to get that damage connected to him. But that's going to be Yoon Jae-jung's time this time, putting in that familiar, trying to put in that damage. Yoon.
He knows how to play.
Definitely.
He knows how to play a Force Master, like especially very annoying if you're his opponent. Like,
yeah.
You know, if you don't attack, he frees himself. If you go close, he freezes you.
Yeah.
And then if not, he just tabs out like he just did. And you know he's gonna get one of the 4 things cooled down when he's staggering his usage. There we go, another one, and he tags out.
That was probably the most subtle use of the chains that I've ever seen from a Warlock. But it's going to be a force tag going into both sides, and Daeyeon Choi is back out on the Assassin, whereas Duggan Khan makes his first appearance in this tag match for Team IDEPS, and it's going to be no tag points used by either side so far. So they're really trying to save those resources for crucial plays wanting to be made later in the game.
Yeah, it's been 4 minutes, and you know they've only used a couple of interfere points. That's it.
Daeyeon Khan doing well, forcing out all the escapes away from Daeyeon Choi. So Jung Won-yoon does come back out because he did have that lacking of escapes. So you don't want to be lacking escapes in front of an assassin. So he does tag out in time for Jung Won-yoon to come back out, hopefully to do his usual thing of killing another assassin.
Yeah, Daeyeon Choi already. Same thing with Jung-ho. They both filled up their ults. There we go. The ult is used. Okay, it lands. A couple slashes lands on Jung Won-yoon.
That's a very good. Something about assassin ults connecting today is a coincidence, maybe, but good skills by both of these assassins on both sides in making this work. So Daeyeon Choi getting that a little bit of damage onto Jung Won-yoon. I'm sure he wanted a lot more than that, but does freeze himself once again.
This is why Jung Won-yoon is so annoying to the assassins.
And you would think that Blade and Soul is full of actions, but when you get 2 high-quality teams of this caliber, you gotta get very passive plays because both teams are doing well, reactionary plays to all the offensive tactics that they're trying to throw out.
Yoon Jae-jung ulti is pulling.
Oh, it actually gets a...
No, he dodged it. Like, if that landed, Daeyeon Choi would have... I mean, not Daeyeon Choi. Sang-woo Kim would have probably been knocked out with only 50% health, but he was able to negate that damage and just take a little bit damage from Daeyeon Choi actually until Daeyeon Choi tagged out. Intestine is out with 2 points.
Yep, and GC Busan Blue uses their first tag point of this game, bringing out Intestine on the Blade Dancer as you mentioned. Sang-woo Kim on the Assassin is going to be looking for something to happen on this play because not much really happening for IDEPS other than healing themselves back up from the lost damage, but the reaction and interfere coming in from both sides. The time distortion is going to happen with the familiar. Jung Won-yoon puts that interfere down, but not too much effect. IDEPS right now has to look for a lot more than what they're doing now because you're going to have to look for a lot more damage because if it does go to the TKO once again, you always see that GC Busan Blue is ahead in that department.
Yeah, exactly, and a reactionary 2v2 right now. And overall, if you notice, IDEPS has taken more damage, used more resources overall. GC Busan Blue maybe like 1 or 2 more interfere points, that's it. But if you see IDEPS now, 2 of the players are all out of interfere points until the 3-minute mark, where they'll get 1 point each for their interferes.
And definitely GC Busan Blue has been showing the best defensive efforts out of these 2 teams because even putting out that damage towards their opposition, they're keeping their health relatively healthy without a significant regen skill. So unlike the Force Master, so it's very good of GC Busan Blue to keep their damage intact because if they're gonna win out in this match once again, they're gonna have to keep themselves healthy enough to make that crucial damage near the end to get them ahead in the edge.
Both knocked down. Duggan Kang actually backsteps, forces Yoon Tae-sung to use his type escape and tag out into Yoon Jae-jung.
The knockdown is going to be happening, but for little damage, the body swap does happen onto Daeyeon Choi. He's going to get the damage to the chains. Nothing coming from it though. Using that familiar to getting himself back out, but Sang-woo Kim is out on the field against Yoon Jae-jung.
Okay, Sang-woo Kim is trying to play aggressive. Yoon Jae-jung is out of his tab escape. Puts down the Sanctum.
Sang-woo Kim on the Assassin is going to be looking for 1 more stun, and he's going to be putting some damage, but he needs a stun to put in that damage that he really wants from that Assassin. But Yoon Jae-jung with that familiar, going to try to create all the distractions in the world, trying to negate that from happening.
Exactly, and they did get their interfere point 30 seconds ago.
Oh, this might be the chance though. Oh, but that's good enough for the stun to happen. So Yoon Jae-jung keeping himself safe for now. Let's tag out. Oh, the chase actually trying to be efforted by Sang-woo Kim. not too much good effect. Daeyeon Choi still has his tab escape from that effort.
Yeah, but on the other hand, Sang-ho Kim used his tab escape.
Yeah, he actually does.
Daeyeon Choi is like I don't know. He has Sang-ho Kim overall this series did more damage, but Daeyeon Choi is showing more precise plays.
Definitely, and Daeyeon Choi, he's been on that slowly and quietly making the right plays, and it's less noticeable by any chance, but it's gonna be all about the damage chart in the end if they do go into that damage chart with a TKO, and that's gonna be happening in the next 1 minute and 45 seconds, but it's gonna be the crucial one because GC Busan Blue is still relatively healthy compared to the seemingly lower IDEPS side with the HP.
Yeah, and IDEPS, as we mentioned, they've been healing up more overall compared to GC Busan Blue.
Oh,
and there we go.
Might be the series of damage happening now from both sides. This might be the chance
Tags
for
out.
both teams to do it, and the lightning draw trying to get some effect onto it, but not too much effect coming from that.
Yeah, and now we can tell 15 seconds they will get their interfere points back, same thing. But overall, GC Busan Blue obviously has more resources to work with.
Definitely the health bars are misleading in the fact that they look sort of equal, but we know that Jung Yun with a million HP that he can heal back for himself. So obviously GC Busan Blue, if it stays like this, they will get out the win in that TKO, but this might be a chance for IDEPS to start something, put in that crucial damage near the end, which they did in the first series, first tag game that we saw in this series. So doing that again will get them a win, but without that, it's going to be likely a win towards GC Blue side.
Yeah, 40 seconds left. We'll see what happens.
Oh, the lightning
might
draw. This might be the chance now. This might be the start of that damage that we're talking about, but puts out the interfere, trying to negate most of that from happening. So doing a good defensive error, the blade&soul ultimate does not connect, so that's exactly not what IDEPS was looking for out of that play, but Yoon Jung keeping himself very good distance away from their opponents. They interfere, doing everything, trying to put on that every ultimate they have available, trying to make that damage happen. IDEPS really realizes their situation, that they have to put out more damage to get this win. It's not going to be a KO, it's going to be a TKO with the damage shot, but it's going to be actually GC Busan Blue getting into the aerial and putting on another damage shot to the blade&soul, and that is likely the win for GC Busan Blue in this series.
Yeah, most likely. You know, even though there weren't any kills coming out at the end, if you notice, both sides they've been constantly staggering and using their interfere points. And yes, you just saw GC Busan Blue does take the win. It was a close call though.
It was
super close.
It was a complete exhaustion of effort because GC Busan Blue has been behind literally 4-1 at one point in this series, but slowly and slowly they get the one single that they need, then they get their tag point when they need it. And through all that, they get their last win in this Game 7, the last tag match where it all mattered, and just in the end, it's all about the results, and GC Busan Blue gets the win.
Exactly, and like we said, it's a close game. It was a full 7 set, and even in the last set, they went down to a TKO where, you know, up to the mid game, it was, I guess, a little bit towards GC Busan Blue, but it wasn't too much tilted towards GC Busan Blue until the end, nearly the end, when there was like 20 to 10 seconds left, when they were staggering interfere points, doing as much damage as they can, both sides. But GC Busan Blue get the better, you know, deal out of the staggering points with the resources.
Yeah. And it's always been the last few seconds where these teams made the difference. This is the only game that really didn't happen for the Team IDEPS, because Team IDEPS really needed that explosive amount of damage to at least get even in that damage shot, but obviously it didn't happen. Actually, GC Busan Blue, that blade&soul ultimate missing was part of it, but GC Busan Blue, as you see in the last few seconds, they would actually want to put out additional damage to actually clinch themselves in this win in the series.
Yeah, at the end,
right here,
Duggan Kang takes a lot of damage last with that Warlock and the Blade Dancer. Yeah, that Blade Dancer did land once at the